Hello, I'd like to share with you an experience that I had just recently. You see, it was Christmas Eve and I was walking down the street and it was a beautiful night. The stars were shining and it was so beautiful. And as I'm walking down the street, I noticed a little girl sitting on the curb. And when I saw her, I realized I believe I had seen her earlier when I came by. But I'm not real sure because so many people were rushing to and fro at that hour on Christmas Eve. Even I was rushing too, going to my Christmas concert. You see, I had a violin solo, if you want to say that. I took the lead in a song. But as I looked at this little girl, she looked so lonely. She was sitting there with her knees drawn up to her chest and her little arms wrapped around her legs. And I looked up the street and down the street, and I didn't see a mother or a father or anyone with her. So I was just concerned as to why she was out here by herself at this hour. She was a beautiful little girl. She had beautiful little dark brown skin, smooth brown skin, and she had little plaits all over her hair, and she looked like a little doll. So I went over to speak to her. And I said, "Hello." Well, she didn't respond. So I sat down beside her, put my violin case down, and I just sat right there on the curb with her. And when I looked into her eyes, I could see loneliness. So my heart ached for her. And my spirit wanted me to just reach out and embrace her. But she paid no attention to my being there. She just stared off into space, into the darkness, staring at nothing. So I took my jacket off and wrapped it around her little body. And then I stood again and I looked, searching for someone who might be searching for her. But I saw no one. And that's when I noticed the little girl was rubbing her little hand along the violin case. She was just stroking it and rubbing and looking at it. And that's when I realized, I know what I'll do to cheer her. I will play a violin piece for her. So I opened up my little violin case and I took out my violin and I began to play a song for this little girl in hopes of cheering her on this Christmas Eve night. And she looked and she listened, and I could see she was interested. And then she just stood and came a little closer to me. And she began to move around me as I continued to play. She seemed to take in every nuance of the music, and she seemed to enjoy the melody and what the music did for her. So I looked down at her and I realized her countenance was lifted. And I believe that's a smile on her face. Yes, she's smiling and she seems to enjoy this music. And when I look at her again, I see that she's beginning to move. She's moving cautiously at first. And then she begins to move around me with more joy and lift to her movements. And so I decide to shadow her, to join in with her enthusiasm for the music and the dance as she twirls and dances around on this holy of holiest nights. Oh, it's so beautiful. I really get caught up in her moment, and I close my eyes as we dance together, and we just dance, and everything is just lovely. Oh, to to be so free on this Christmas Eve night to enjoy the music and enjoy the dance. And so I open my eyes and I don't see her. So where is this little girl? Where did she go? Where could she have gone? This little girl who loved the music and loved the dance.